Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice. Because today is Friday, and you know what that means? It's another episode of Frightful Fridays. This week, I'm going to be reviewing a movie called 825 Forest Road. It's a 2025 movie. It's on Shudder, an exclusive Shudder. You can get Shudder through AMC Plus on Prime. I don't think you need to be pay any extra for that. I don't know, but this is made by the same guy, written and directed by the same guy who did the Hell House LLC movies, which I absolutely love. I think the third one was a little weak, but all the rest of them were fantastic. Okay, so, and it's, they say 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think I rated it. That's what it says on the thing. I'll give you my rating at the end. Okay, so what we have here is the basic breakdown of the movie. Is you have a family. You have Isabella and Chuck. They're a married couple who are forced to move to a small town away from the city because they needed to get away from the city because they take in Chuck's younger sister. Oh, wait, no, it's Chuck and Maria. Chuck and Maria is the married couple. They are forced to take in Chuck's younger sister, Isabella, and who was in a car accident. She was driving a car with Chuck and Isabella's mother in the car, got into an accident, and it killed the mother. So it's just playing, messing with, it's did bad things to Isabella mentally, and so they figured it's good to get away from the city, so they move to the small town it's a small town. And the weird thing is, up until about like 4 months ago or whenever this happened, Maria didn't even know that Chuck had a younger sister. So, the brother and sister are estranged, or were estranged up to this point, and still kind of are. And they take a house that is a really good price, and they're like, oh, sounds like we're going to be expecting to find dead bodies in the basement. What they didn't know was this, you've heard of a haunted house. This isn't really necessarily a haunted house movie. It's a haunted town movie. This town is... There's something wrong with the whole town. So what had happened is about 100 years before, there was a woman by the name of Helen Foster. Her daughter was being bullied at school. She tried writing letters to the bully's parents. They ignored her. The bullies kept going. Got worse. They went to the town council. The town council didn't do shit about it. So she winds up just, losing it and killing everybody. And then herself and I think the daughter. So over the past however long, there's been, suicides and everything. So, the town is saying, it's her spirit and ghost trying to take revenge on what had happened in that town. And so you have the 3 people in the family, and this movie is done in chapters. So the first chapter is Chuck. So it shows what Chuck is doing. He's a college professor, and this is during the summer. So he like music history, and he teaches piano in the off season. You know, the first chapter follows him. You know what he does, what he's doing, and how this Helen kind of plays with him, messes with him, and how he slowly becomes aware of things that are going on, and how he doesn't want to deal with it. Then you have it switches to what goes on with Isabella. So that there's those moments. Not everything is the same, but there are moments where they cross over, and so something you've seen happen with Chuck, where Isabella walks in, you see what she was doing right before it, and her her perspective and her events of what's going on, and then it switches to Maria and all their connections, and so you're getting the whole story of everything up to a certain point where it comes to a head at the end, because there's like two other. Once they connect, it gets to a certain point near the end, and I have to tell you, man, this is if you've watched Hell House movies, this isn't a found footage movie, but it employs the same aspects. There's stuff going on in the background, so you sort of need to be paying attention to what's going on in the background. And there's, stuff that you just hear someone say, and it's like, huh? So, or, like a noise in the background or something. And you finally get the whole thing near the end. So it's kind of this creepy build up where you're seeing flashes in the background. You're seeing, getting bits of information that it was like, oh, what the hell is that? And it just kind of, I call it a slow burn, because you're just like, man, because it's the people in the town are just kind of they're scared. They don't want. They know what's going on. They don't know how to deal with it. But these three people, they're slowly learning what's going on, but it's also affecting them at the same time. And you're witnessing with them all the weird events that are happening to happening to Chuck, happening to Maria, happening to Isabella, and by the end of the movie, and one thing, I thought I had most of it figured out by the end, and I was kind of partially right. But one thing, if his other movies, the Hell House LLC movies, are an indication, he likes to subvert expectations, and he did that with this one too. Because there was, I was partially right about, something. Not going to say what, because I don't want to. What do you call it? I don't want to spoil anything. But when it all came to a head at the end, I was like, I did not see that coming. And that is one of the many really good things about this movie. It's a haunted house / town movie. Yes, there are certain tropes you follow, but he the writer-director of this one went his own way. He likes just to build it slowly and just release certain things and have little things going on that, the corner of your eye, little slips of information, just little things, and it just kind of increases the tension, builds it up, and that's what he did with this one. And while doing that, he's also lulling you into a kind of I don't want to say a false sense of security. You're like, okay, I think I've got this, and then you don't. This, you get certain movies, say like the Friday the 13th movies, slashers. Those are all, big kills and tits and, violence and all that stuff. That's what you watch those movies for. This is not one of them. This is the more, spooky, scary stuff. And this does a very good job. A very good job at that. And the acting is sort of subdued in this one. They never, it's not hysterical. There's this, people are just, the actors play it right. They just, you can tell they're getting closer and closer and closer to a breakdown, to as the things mount, they're trying to deal with it, and then there's one more thing on top of another, and when it comes to it, it's just like bam. So I am going to highly recommend this movie and give it I want to give it a 4.7, 5 out of 5. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because this was one of the better horror movies that I've seen lately. I want to say this year. It's 6 months into the year. It's one of the best, definitely, this year. And probably one of the better ones I've seen in longer than that. So, the writing and direction was fantastic. The mood was incredible. The acting, the people in there just did this great job and kind of downplaying everything and just getting you amped up. You know what I mean? And so I really, truly recommend this and say watch it. Sit back, and when you have time, sit back in the dark, grab some popcorn, whatever. A good beverage, and enjoy. Because I know I did. Anyway, let me know, excuse me, if you've seen it. Let me know what you thought of it if you did see it. Like, subscribe, and most of all, enjoy your horror movies. Oh, and one other thing. Next Friday is Friday the 13th. I was thinking of watching, reviewing a Friday the 13th movie. I've seen, I think, all the way through 5. I've seen it all the way through the Daniel Harris movies. So I'll probably want to watch one of the ones other than after that. If you have any suggestions that you want me to do, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, like, subscribe, possibly share, and most of all, enjoy your horror movies.